Welcome along to the BBQ Talk Show. My name's Matt, aka Smoking Cues, and my host, Mr. Ryan G's. How you doing, brother?
How you doing? Yeah, I'm really good. Had an amazing week again. Here we are, back again for the show. Had a bit of a break last week, but it's good to be back. Fantastic guests we've got. So we're going to be chatting to them. Got a few. C-Mac's in the chat. Elliot's in the chat. I think we should take a little bit of time to chat about our show affiliates and sponsors. Talk about the web discounts we have on our website. So off we go, Matt. Let's tell them all about it.
I'll do the usual spiel. So coming up on tonight's show, we will be speaking to Jurgen and Rana from Culinary Demons. We'll be chatting to them about their cooks, photography, the ups and downs of being a husband and wife team on Instagram, and a lot of other things. First forward from our show sponsors, supporters, the Rusty Barbecue Co. brings us a exclusive 10% discount on all of their products. Meter provide 15% worldwide on all of their products. Globaltic, who we've teamed up with to bring you 10% off of their quality birch charcoal. And when I say quality, that stuff is on point. Really hot stuff. And our newest partner, the Dusty Barn, who we will be having on in a future show to talk about their chopping boards, bespoke chopping boards, signs, things for your shack. Go and check them out, and we have a exclusive 10% from them as well. Find them all on our website, bbqtalks.com. So yeah, that is the big spiel that we do every week. And it tends to get a little bit bigger every now and then, doesn't it, Ryan?
Yeah, things are picking up. The podcast is it's certainly growing now. We're getting some good momentum. We also had a bit of a result. Something that we didn't actually mention a little while ago, which was we were featured in a certain barbecue magazine. One of our brothers from the USA, Johnny Mags from Pit Life Barbecue, sent us a sheet about the barbecue magazine we were featured in, a full page spread. So check out the mag. I'm sure we might be able to pull that up during the show so we can all see once we get through the interview a little bit. But it's not all about us, it's all about the guests. So that's why we have them on, and we can talk to them and we pull them up in a second.
Absolutely. My brain's gone completely dead. There was something in there that I wanted to mention, and now I can't remember it. So it'll probably come up like completely in the middle of the podcast. So expect some random verbal diarrhea from me later on.
I know we had a couple of technical issues with Sue Stoneman's featured cooks. We couldn't manage to get that done. So sorry, Sue. We'll get that all up next week. Daddy Dutch in the chat. Hi, Daddy Dutch. C-Mac and everyone's there. That's cool. I'm just trying to share the link out for all the groups. I know you do it as well, but I like to put in a few little extra ones just to spread the love, as it were. So everybody come and listen and watch to the spectacle that is the Barbecue Talk Show.
Absolutely. Should we get this week's guests in?
What a fantastic idea. Let's pull them up.
I think it is as well. Absolutely. Hi guys, how you doing?
Good evening.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Well,
Not
very
too
well.
bad, thank you. Not too bad
Right.
at all.
Cheers.
And yourselves?
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Cheers.
A good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic show.
The head on that drink's gone down a bit now, Ryan, is it?
I'm not even going to stand up and show you what my bottoms look like. I'm just going to say it looks like I've spent a little bit too.
And now it's not.
It's currently residing all over my podcast room floor at the moment. It's lucky it's a vinyl, because otherwise, we were thinking about getting it carpeted, but luckily that hasn't happened yet. So
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Probably won't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be some battle scars. The missus would go bananas. A nice big Guinness, a big black Guinness stain ever just from where I sit. She'd be like, "Oh, thank you so much."
She will not be happy with you.
That's exactly what she's going to say.
She would, but she's very understanding. She knows that I need to drink Guinness, but I'm not sure that she knows. That's why we've got a vinyl floor. It was a solution that fitted everyone, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that it's a jigsaw puzzle at the minute. It's It's the old playroom. It's now my podcast area. But it's all going to be converted soonish, hopefully.
Ooh.
Yeah, should be fun.
Proper little studio. Ah, jealous now. And here I am just chilling in my bedroom.
We're in the kitchen as well, so some people have a good Ryan.
Wherever you can hide, it's fine. Absolutely. Right. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you got into cooking over flames and photography? Because there's two very heavy sort of influences on this show.
Of course. Week. So my name is Jurgen. I'm originally from the Netherlands. I've been living in Ireland for 11 years now. I've got into fire cooking, like real open fire cooking, about 16 years ago in a kitchen. It was a South American style kitchen where we were cooking on wood logs. I was barbecuing before that as well. And when I moved to Ireland, it died down a bit and I stopped doing working in the kitchen. And for the last 3 years,
3 years.
3 years, yeah.
Maybe
I've been going on full on again.
By full on means 24/7 in front of the barbecue. I'm not as important as his barbecue stuff.
No. And I'm going to start professionally again. So I think since today, right?
Yeah.
I'm no more in the corporate world, and I'm going to be back into cooking on a barbecue professionally.
Oh, lovely.
Nice.
That's
a scoop for you guys. That's the first.
Well, we could. Since you mention it, then we may as well pursue that a little bit. So, you say you're going to be doing it professionally.
We still have a little bit more of an introduction to do yet.
Well, this is true.
We'll get to that.
I was like, go for the exclusive.
I know. It's all right. He just he gave you a big one here, but. My name is Rana. I'm Jurgen's wife. Originally, I'm half Russian, half Syrian, actually. But I've been living in Ireland the past 8 years.
Yeah, I
think so. Yeah. How I got into photography. Really out of boredom. I was on maternity leave. And I know. And his family arrived to visit us to see our second child, who was a month old, and his brother was showing me this cool camera that was like mirrorless, it's lightweight and takes cool pictures, and I thought to myself, oh, that would be cool to take pictures of kids. So this is very same evening, impulsive we went to local Harvey Norman tech store and bought a camera, quite similar one, Canon M100, and then we've been talking to Jurgen forever about his food and cooking and barbecuing. And I told him, why don't we just start a family account on Instagram where we're just going to show off your skills? And I would start posting pictures. Parallel to that, I was trying to learn how to use the camera. So I bought one of the cheapest Udemy courses on how to use a camera. And it had, I don't know, million of mini lessons of, starting from manual modes to, landscape photography. So it had everything.
Wow.
But I got sucked into food photography really, really quickly. I couldn't stop. I just, I started making pictures. I hated them the very instant. So it pushed me to learn more. And I am right now where I am. I'm part-time food photographer. I work with a couple of clients and started growing thanks to Jurgen, I suppose. I think the partnership here is what pushed me really to food photography.
It's a lovely, and your Instagram feed is absolutely fantastic as well. Obviously we've had a bit of a mooch around and a little bit of research. Both of your Instagram pages are tremendous. There's lovely photographs there, so and we'll touch upon that in a little bit. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, so, right, you were going to ask him now. He's all yours. He's all yours.
I was just about to dive in. So you're going professionally then. So tell us all about that. How has this come about?
We signed, I think, about 2 weeks ago. We signed our paperwork to start our own company.
You get a tax number and get ripped off.
So I was working in sales in a IT corporate business and wasn't very happy, and some things happened. So decided, but let's try it for ourselves and see what we can do. So we're going to do a few things. It's going to be private dining, small events for shops. For example, one of the local shops here, it's a Spanish shop, and we're going to do a cookery class on cooking paella on open fire with a wine table.
Wow.
And all those kind of small things. Mostly it's going to be in Ireland. And then I'll be working together with Savage Barbecue in the UK. We'll be doing some events in the UK as well with them. I help them as well with their sales for the restaurant business. So I'm working with them as a restaurant consultant for Bespoke Barbecue. And so I'm now literally 24/7 in the barbecue world.
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
Living the
That is
dream
so cool.
right there, isn't it?
Living the dream, yeah. I was thinking as well to maybe work again for someone in a restaurant, but I wanted to do something for myself, because the reason I stopped working in restaurants was because I never had full control. Crazy hours. I didn't see much back from it, and now it's totally me and us together, because it's a partner company. So she's going to be doing marketing, photography, so we can offer a whole package for people who want to have something special for an event.
Oh wow! So will you be doing like a set menu type of deal, or will you sort of like be producing whatever the customer asks you for, or?
It depends, right? So I can do like themed dinners. It could be a set menu. It could also be culinary classes. So we can go from starters to desserts to everything on cooked over fire. In the UK, we're going to do weekends. So it's going to be fire cooking weekends or weekdays, depending on where it's going to be booked. With that, we're going to do probably tasting, butchery courses, and then literally 3 days of fire cooking. So they arrive in the evening, fire snacks and drinks. In the morning, it's going to be breakfast over fire, lunch over fire, and then the one that we have planned is like a 12-course meal in the evening.
Wow.
So yeah, that's.
You've got to tell us about that 12 course. 12 courses. That must be a big undertaking on a sort of open fire setup like what you have. That must be real sort of labour of love, I should think.
Yeah, but it's going to be really fun though to do. That's so I'm going to really love it, and it's not going to be a massive crowd as well. So we're talking about maximum 20 people probably.
Okay, that's not too
We have
bad.
2 cages there. I'll be working as the head chef. Ed, the owner of Savage Barbecue, will be the host and helping out. Then we have a sommelier who can also know how to cook over fire, so we can combine those two as well.
Yeah.
Let's could be cooking over it, and then it's going to come out amazing. I already know.
So, what is the 12 course then? Tell us what you're planning for your 12 courses.
So, one of the plans we had, it would be, of course, depending on where we're going to go to, I want to do everything as local as possible, so hyper local.
Okay.
One of them I was looking at would have been at the Welsh campsite. So the starter would be some a leek salad from the fire. We're gonna have some grilled oysters that come from onto the table with a hay fire around it. So
Beautiful.
it'll be smoking and flaming, and then we have some mussels from the fire, straight from the coals. Talking about beef heart tataki. So it's like really quickly grilled beef heart from the fire, and then sliced up really thinly with some soy sauce or some local sauce they make.
Wow.
Then we're talking another fish dish. Could be a full halibut or something that nailed to a board. Then we're talking about maybe full beef ribs. So not the short ribs, but a full flank of the ribs.
Nice. Yep.
Could be on a asado cross. But also we had so many things. Leg of lamb we had hanging as well. And then desserts, burnt apricot desserts, ice cream from the fire, that kind of stuff, like all kinds of stuff. It's I want to say it's not easy to make, but it's like simple stuff, but done very well. So not to make crazy, but it's going to come out very nicely and very raw.
When you come over to Wales, send me an invite, because that sounds
We will.
amazing.
We will.
That sounds incredible.
Yeah, so at the moment we're really looking into it, right? To see what we can do, because we need to name out, of course. So this year maybe only have 1 or 2 events, but probably next year we're going to do more events, I would say, in UK.
Yeah, excellent. So, the idea behind the Savage Barbecue, the cages. What's the market then for those? Where is the aim to get them? For backyard barbecuers, or are they going into sort of?
It's a mix, right? So it's for the more experienced, maybe. I don't want to say more experienced, but most people would start with a Weber barbecue. Most people wouldn't start to buy a fire cage straight away.
Unless you're nuts.
Well, not this fire cage, but when I was younger.
Oh, yeah.
When I was younger, I did straight away from open fire. But I think we're looking at people who want to expand their horizons on grilling over open fire, and the restaurant business.
Okay.
So yeah, like especially the restaurant business, it's going to be booming soon. I think with everything opening, especially in the UK.
Oh yeah.
We sold a few already to restaurants, some bespoke ones, and I'm looking forward to see them built in. It's going to be fantastic, I think.
Yeah,
so they're going into sort of fully working kitchens, and I guess built to measure for the kitchen, and then
built to measure for the kitchen, or some of them, like some pubs, they have it in their beer garden. So they have the normal standard cage in the beer garden, or maybe a larger one, or smaller one even fit it in.
Yeah,
that'd be super cool. I could see that sitting very well in sort of like your more high end restaurants as well, because cooking over flames is a pretty big thing at the moment in the UK. So there's going to be, I should imagine, a lot of restaurants taking that on.
Exactly,
and doing a fine job as well, hopefully.
Yeah, no, there's so many restaurants popping up now with this kind of cooking, and you see also the big names like Lennox Hasty and Nicholas Ekstad for the real fight all over open fire, and have like similar to it, like it's a cage, or they have literally bricks with a grill in it, and that's it.
And getting it back to basics.
Exactly.
You can't beat it. You know, the taste of just raw fire rather than pellet or sort of briquettes. Just that raw fire is just an incredible flavour.
Yeah, it takes longer to cook, and you need to keep an eye on it, and you're always busy with the fire. But when you taste the food, it's such a difference. It does. I cannot believe that food from a Traeger or from an open fire cage is going to taste the same. Yes, the Traeger is going to be very good, and I think a Traeger is very handy for people who are very busy. And I'm looking at you, Matt. No. Look, if I had one, I would use
for Traegers.
No, but if I could choose, I would always choose open fire cooking. But then again, not everybody is 24/7 in the barbecue.
Yeah.
So
I'm very much one of those gadget types, hence the Traeger. I like to be able to control without having to sort of stand and manage for quite a long time. Set it and forget it kind of thing for me. But I do every now and then enjoy just sort of going back to basics, taking all the grills off the Weber and just chucking the charcoals in the bottom and just cooking straight over the flame. You can't beat it. It's good fun.
Yeah, exactly. Well, she's the techie in our race. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
Apart from the cage, and what else are you cooking with? What else have you got?
So we have a yakiniku kamado. It's a brand from the Netherlands. It's been used in a lot of Michelin star restaurants at the moment in the continent.
Okay.
It's a very nice grill. Then I have a small kamado from Kamado Bono, which is a very handy grill for us to ever doing something small. What else do we have? We have the Weber Master Touch with rotisserie and plancha. Then we have a Cypriot barbecue, which is called the Fuku. It's a barbecue with multiple rotisseries on it.
Oh,
so it has large rotisseries on it and about 12 small ones in the bottom.
Awesome.
And on batteries or on power, you can choose. You can bring it to the beach on batteries. And of course, we have the Savage Barbecue Fire Cage.
Yeah.
Then we have the Barbecue Fire Table, which is like a table where I just put fire on for Dutch ovens and that kind of stuff, or just small grills. Then we have a Rock Box from Gosni, the pizza oven. And let me think, I'm missing one.
Are you?
Yakitori grill, also from Yakiniku.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Shichirin grill, which is a brilliant thing as well. And actually, I'm looking at it right now. The barbecue fire pit from windmill cast iron with a tripod. And
Nice.
that's
So you've got a nice big sort of plethora of different devices. I thought I was bad. You know, I'm up to 5 now, and you've just blown me out of the water by. You know, I'm looking at my wife. She, you know, there's more to come.
You can tell her that I was there. There is no point of resisting.
No, absolutely. There's not. It's just
not gonna
it's
work.
just going to happen. You know,
Yeah.
what'll happen
Otherwise,
is she'll
otherwise the
just
house goes on fire. That's it. You know, it's one of those.
she'll come back from work one day and be like, "That wasn't there when I left. What's that?"
Exactly.
Yeah, it was.
No, you're in the
it's
same
been
boat
down
as
the
I
shed.
am. I have no idea. It just appeared.
You can always say that you won it.
Okay, can we discuss now your prizes? Did you review it?
We're going down a
one,
slippery
for
slope
real.
here.
No, some of the barbecues I won. So the small Kamado and the Cypriot barbecue, I won in competitions.
Okay.
Like online barbecue competitions when the lockdown just started.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Nice.
But it was nice. But the rest was all we gotten it through sponsors or people who wanted to make their pictures, or we bought it, or
Cool.
No, absolutely. Sometimes, you know, to get into something else, that you haven't really thought about, those giveaways are great. And if you're lucky enough to win something like that, it completely opens up your mind to a different way of cooking, which, you know, is really good. I mean, we'll touch on some of the images later of what you cook on your open fire, and you know, the absolutely awesome quality of the photography that comes out of it. Because we spoke offline yesterday about it, and I'm a real sucker for really good photography, and well, you guys will see in a minute that
Thank you.
amazing stuff.
Thank you.
I
I,
mean,
I still have a bit of issues with self-confidence, should I say?
Really?
Yeah,
You
I
shouldn't.
take a photo, I edit it, I love it, and the very next day I could go a totally opposite way and say how much I hate it. So it's a bit of a, you know.
You should be really proud of the stuff you put up. It's excellent. It really is good. It's excellent. There's all the images I've seen are perfect.
Thank you. They're not perfect, but I'm striving to. But you see one image, but there might have been 50 behind that image taken.
Yeah.
You've got to shoot it to get the one.
Yeah.
You got to burn through it.
It's like filling up your storage cards with hundreds of the same picture, and then when you go through and you're in Lightroom going, oh, which one that? Oh, that one looks the same. That one's equally as shit as the last one. Next.
Exactly.
Aha! I've got one.
Exactly. You will get one photo where the focus is just right, you know?
Yep, absolutely.
And then the light is just right.
Like I said to you, I used to do a lot of sort of night creative street art, so it was very much one adjustment, you know, changing the f-stop by 1 and then taking the picture again and again and again and again and again, because although you're looking at the live preview like this, until you actually get it on your screen and you look at it and you go, well, it looked good on the live preview, but it is absolutely bollocks.
Yeah. I agree with you.
You end up.
Do you know what I start doing?
So
If I shoot indoors, I actually tether so I can see on the screen straight away.
Nice.
Because it's very difficult to preview every little detail. And food photography is about details. You can't hide behind the bigger picture. If you have a picture when you kind of a tip of your asparagus is just out of focus, and then the rest of it loses its essence. So I started tethering so I don't have to deal with this because it's driving me nuts. I have gray hair because of this.
Me too.
So you already answered. You you're going to take are you taking your cages out to these events, or are there going to be other cages that are going to be
No. So
with
my
yours?
cage is a modular cage completely, so I can take the top off as well. So we can
Right.
into the Jeep or the van and bring it to the events there. And I might bring one of the smaller Kamados or the maybe the rug box as a standby for something. But yeah, that's the plan, to have the barbecues, because I want to do open fire cooking in these things. I don't
Yeah.
want to do oven cooking or not. I want the fire has to be really onto the fire. I want people to see the wood burning and the smell of the wood, and
Nice.
it's perfect for that.
So, you tell us about where you sort of take your food ideas from. Because you cook from one extreme to another. So you do sort of oysters on open flames, and then a huge steak on the flames. Where do you pull your ideas from? Have you got any sort of background in cooking, or is it just
So-
a passion?
Well, it's a passion for sure. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing cooking over open fire, because it's ridiculous sometimes. But for me, it's when I grew up, it was a cultural thing, and my classmates, they were all from all over the world, from Suriname, from Morocco, Turkey, the Caribbean, South Africa,
Right.
everywhere, literally everywhere. And that's how I would get most of the flavors when I was younger, because of a lot of open fire grilled food, especially Indonesian food, because we have a large Indonesian community in the Netherlands. So all the satay sticks and the satay sauce. So that was a big influence for me. And then when I started working in the South American restaurant, it was like really gaucho cooking. So it was stuff in ashes. It was cooking meat over open fire, like large pieces of meat, which would be shared by a large table of people. So that was a heavy influence for me as well. Now, when I moved to Ireland, the influence would be the local stuff, everything hyper local. And we live here very close to the sea. We have the mountains, 45 minutes drive away, I think.
The hills.
Hills, mountains. So we have like a lot of amazing meats here.
You used
Well,
to
of
live
course,
in the
Ireland.
Netherlands. There's no
Yeah.
no hills
For
in
us,
the
the speed bump is a
Netherlands.
mountain. Speed bump is a mountain for us. But yeah, and then like the stuff we have here, like well, of course, Irish beef is world renowned for its flavor. Irish is famous as well. Then Irish food is amazing as well. There's so much seafood here, like everywhere. So you can get really tiny oysters for eating raw, but you can also get the huge, humongous one for grilling or stewing or whatever. So a lot of my influence comes from what's around me, what's in season. And then, of course, I look at a lot of YouTube and everything, and I see people from Brazil and Argentina and Uruguay and South Africa and whatever cooking stuff, and that's where I get inspiration from. And I have, I think, about 200 cookbooks.
I stopped counting, but they don't fit in the bookshelves.
So I go to all my cookbooks as well, but I have 200 cookbooks, but I never did a recipe in them. I just go to them for inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And the
I'm-
kids use them to play.
Yeah.
They create like a garage where they put this is how many books we have.
So like it comes from literally from everywhere. Also, if I see the weather is different, or I'm listening to some certain kind of music or anything.
Oh wow. It must be fantastic to have such a wide variety of ingredients available and fresh as well from Ireland, but particularly the oysters. I do love a good oyster. I'm not so keen on the raw ones, but cooked and stewed, they're delicious. They're really. I like oysters in a stew. I haven't had it for a while, but it sticks in my mind. The last time I had it, they're really good.
We even throw the oysters in the kimchi. So we ferment kimchi and we throw oysters inside. Raw oysters. They ferment with them. It's kimchi. It's amazing.
That
Still have
sounds
that kimchi.
fantastic.
We still have kimchi. It's now 2 years old, I think.
Wow.
I'm one of these people that, unfortunately, my mother doesn't enjoy fish at all. She, makes a heave. So unfortunately, I've been the victim of this from my mother. And because she doesn't like it, she never bought it. So it's now in my head. It's not something I go to and think, do you know what? I want some fish. And I'm getting to the point now where it's like, I really need to try some. And I've currently got some pictures up that you've sent me, and there's one that we'll see in a minute, and I'm like, yeah, I want to devour that. It looks. In fact, let's just get them up now. So,
Sure.
tell us a little bit about this picture that you've sent across.
So this is, from the photography standpoint, this is my very, very first open fire photo. So the fire was going on, I was taking. So it's terrible photo. That's not my standard anymore. But when I took it first, I was absolutely mesmerized by the movement, the colors, the ashes, and that's how I got my passion for, taking the food as it's being cooked.
There's nothing wrong with that photo.
I don't know. I'm not
It looks
taking
pretty
on
cool
it.
to me.
Yeah, I love it. Photo. I love it.
What makes you say that it's not a good? I'm gonna probe you now. What makes you think it's not good?
Because the flames are weak. I'd like to see bigger flames. There isn't enough happening with the logs. I would like to see more movement there, more lines, more. At the moment, it's just something inside of something kind of photo. But yeah.
I think it's quite mesmerizing, to be honest.
I love
like
it.
It
Oh, thank you guys. You're too good.
It keeps your eyes attached to it. It's not. It's one of those. They say that you should draw a picture with the or draw the eyes around a picture, and that does that a lot. As in, you've got all the embers in the background, and then you've got the different colours from the ashes where they've come up. It does. It's really good. I like that one.
Thank you.
The next one. This one.
So there was the first photograph on our account. I made smoked lamb's ribs with some fire cooked salsa and some just cooked in seawater. And
Okay.
I tried to make it look fancy for her, but it wasn't very easy because it's lamb's ribs and brown sauce and a brown potato.
Plus, it's a fluorescent light, not even a proper light.
But look, I loved when she
Again.
made this picture. I loved it. But if I look back at this picture and what she does now, it's a big difference. Of course, it's a massive difference. But this is like.
But we all start somewhere.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
For a start, that is a really good starting point. So, I mean, for me, that is you've obviously got an eye for photography immediately. Even if this is sort of 1-2 weeks in, you've already got that sort of the creative sort of way of capturing images. So I'm just going to keep blowing your horn because I like what you do.
Yeah, you've got a talent. You should be proud of everything you've done. But you should, it's a story, isn't it? It's not necessarily. It's like how you started off. We've done this, we've done that, and you can see you're developing as you're moving forward. Every time you're sort of changing everything and looking at your parameters and sort of tweaking it and then moving forward and tweaking it and moving it forward. So it's good, it's part of the story of how you've developed your style and where you are today. So you should be proud of all of these things.
True.
I agree. Thank you for saying that, guys, because I always say it every day, but you never believe me. So it's good to hear.
Is biased.
Nice. Uno momento. Technical issues.
That's fine. I'm gonna use the technical issue moment
it
to
froze.
open a bottle of beer.
Carry
Good
on.
idea. So while you're opening a bottle of beer, then have you ever encountered any? Do you find when you're taking pictures of like the food, or has there ever been any sort of awkward moments, or any sort of maybe friction? Dare I say? How do you get
You mean
get
between
in
us?
it? Yeah, absolutely. Between that, how do you sort that one out?
Single photo shoot with friction, like a carpet
Nice.
and a human with socks, and then there was like a lot of standing hands. Every single shoot, because I'm you get it now. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, right? So I have my reflectors and lights and whatnot, but I'm one person, so I don't have an assistant to run around with the light and adjust it for me. this mister here has no eye for the light. So when I was like, just a little bit like that, I want the light to hit this part of the food, right? And he would turn the reflector totally the opposite direction.
Amazing.
I don't know. And I keep shouting at him saying, this is physics, it's light. Light bounces.
Always the other way around. I'm like, she's making pictures of the food while it's cooking. And then for me, it's like, okay, I need to turn it on, because if I don't turn it on, she's gonna screw it up. I said, one more picture. I'm like, fast, because I'm gonna literally kill you if it's gonna burn.
I tell you what, you should film you two.
No.
Yes, you should, because it'd be. I'd love to watch you two just arguing and bickering about the food and then the photography. It would just make for an amazing watch.
Yeah. So we always have like, that's.
That's not a bad idea, actually.
It's funny afterwards, but it'd be like, oh, for fuck's sake.
Just use it to run some little stories on Reels or stop. Do you know what I mean? You get those little Instagram shorts and stuff like that now. It might be a good little sort of thing. Speed it up, whatever.
We can try. We can hang the GoPro somewhere.
Yeah.
GoPro. You're so. Yes, we'll hang something.
So this next image is the one that I was talking about with wanting to try fish. Now, this you can tell that this image is where you've developed to with your photography.
Yeah.
I mean, that's mental. Like, I'd half expect to open a magazine and be like, oh wow, and see that in a magazine. That's incredible.
I agree. We even tried it out because she put some text and was on the left bottom or the left middle or something.
Yeah,
like a text, like a book. Yeah. And it really fit. It was looked like a book cover, so it was amazing. And also was an amazing cook. It tasted so good.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that worked.
Tell us about it. What have we got going on?
So it was a pompano fish. It's a fish from the Indian Ocean.
Okay.
And I stuffed it with some lemongrass, limes, chilies, parsley, and then I coated it in sea salt, fine sea salt. So it's a really thick layer of sea salt. So it's a Thai style of sea salt crusted fish. And you literally just put it onto the grill, and then when the salt gets crispy, you turn it around, and then until it's way through. And it's a very easy cook as well because of the salt, the fish doesn't stick to the grill. It's like a perfect beginner recipe for somebody who never cooked fish before on the grill.
All right.
With any fish.
Something that I should do then.
Exactly. And it tastes really good because you peel off the skin, so you don't eat the skin already. So a lot of the skin. And you just eat the white meat from the inside with some vegetables, rice, whatever, some sauce with some spicy sauce, lime juice, whatever you want.
That sounds incredible.
Does the salt get sort of absorbed through the skin, or is it just sort of like sitting on top as a barrier?
Almost not. So the salt really is just a crust around it. So you get a small bit of flavor into the meat, but it's tiny. It's like spraying salt on top of your fish when it's finished. You just scrape it off the skin or pull it off. And it's such an easy way of cooking. And just comes out great, mate, all the time. It never fails, this one.
And then what was the side dish that you've got? I can
was,
see two side dishes, but
yeah. So the small green balls, they were actually disgusting.
Oh, really?
So they were.
You shouldn't say things like that.
No.
They should. It's honest. That's
honest.
what we want, an honest interview.
So they were Thai pea aubergines, and they're quite. And normally you cook them with in water and stir fry them, but I cooked them over the open fire, which made them more bitter. So I took a bite, and my mouth was like turning all kinds of weird shapes. And
no.
But then for the rest, we had, I think, I needed to check what was there.
Is that
it's grilled pak choy and then dipped into soy sauce afterwards. Then we made sambal as well, I think. And we made some kind of sour chili sauce. And
that sounds good.
So you could still eat pea aubergines, but you had to put like a lot of lime on it, or the sweet chili sauce, or then it was just raw like this. Eating it was a bit rough.
Fair enough. You said yesterday that you do all of your photography with sort of natural light rather than sort of artificial light. So that must be a challenge in itself.
Yes. So all my open fire photography is with, for exception with one, I think, on Instagram, we tried with artificial light, but I use natural light. So with Jurgen, the challenge is that Jurgen's timing is always off. If he tells me it's an hour, I add another 30 minutes easily. But during winter, we're very dependent on light. And if Jurgen tells me an hour, it's very difficult for me to stretch it for another 30 minutes, because then I have to stretch the camera and use the lens power and, the f-stops and whatever, and I can lose in focus and stuff like that. So there isn't so it's very difficult. And then I don't want to spend hours and hours trying to salvage a photo and edit it and, and then spend hours working on it.
Yeah.
So for me, the idea is that if I want to take a picture with a natural light, that it should be at its best while it's taking. So I spent minimal. Like today, for example, was it today or yesterday that we took a picture with your what is it called?
The
razor clamps. Yeah.
Yesterday.
Yeah. So I took a picture of razor clamps yesterday, and today I got to the editing, and it took me only, 3 minutes to edit it.
Nice.
The light, everything was great in the picture. It looked very good. All I needed to do just to fix the white balance, just to add a little bit of texture, highlights here and there. That's all. That's all I did, and a little bit of artistic with the curve, with the tone curve, artistic touch. Other than that, that's my goal. I don't want to spend hours in editing. However,
absolutely.
Like this picture, I take with a flash gun. I have a flash gun at home. Is it called flash?
Okay.
Anyway, it's a flashlight, and I tend to use it, especially in winters, because the light goes quite fast. Natural light is also unpredictable. Indoors, flat lays like this, very easy to take with artificial light, which I tend to use quite a lot.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Next one then, this one.
Oh, I'm so hungry already.
Yeah.
It all looks fantastic.
You're hungry.
So there was another fun cook, this one. So here what we did was we had a duck, an Irish duck, and we put it on the rotisserie with wood fire for 6 hours, a very gentle heat. The duck itself was stuffed with coconut, lemongrass, what else was there? Ginger, galangal, Thai basil, chilies. Like there was a lot of stuff inside the duck, and that really went through the meat. And then we made the bao buns ourselves here as well. And then you see the toasted coconut. So I bought a coconut. I grated everything. I made my own coconut milk to make coconut peanut sauce. Then with the leftovers, I toasted them over the fire, and there was like a sprinkle on top of the completed food. And we had some homemade sambal as well. What else was there? I think that was it, right? Yeah, that was it. Oh, we made some picked carrot slices to go on top, because you need something pickled. I always think something pickled or something sweet. So it was such a fun cook as well. It took a long time, but it was just, the flavor was amazing.
Yeah. Nice. Like I said earlier, they're incredible pictures and incredible cooks. Question from in the chat from Neil Gorilla. Do you have a method for setting out multiple items in your bowls, carrots, vegetables, things like that? Do you just sort of throw it on the table, move it around to see or have you got a method?
I have two methods that I use. One is when I draw what I want to take a picture of, if Mr. Culinary Demons gives me enough notice.
Right.
doesn't happen that often.
Friction.
So I try to visualize how it's going to look like. And then during the shoot, usually it's never comes out the way it was drawn. Very rarely it's very similar. So during the shoot, I usually just plates that are going to hold those. And if there is a vegetable or anything that does not require to be cooked, just chopped or anything, we chop it first, we put it, given that it's not going to change its color or whatever. So I don't open an avocado before, the last minute. So then I start putting it around and trying to visualize. Usually I will have a camera, if it's a flat lay, tethered to the screen, and then I do it this way. But yeah, the hot food goes last. Everything that doesn't spoil goes first. And then, a bit of imagination, I suppose. But it takes time, to be honest. My very first flat lays were not as good because there was a timing, there was a stress. I had to put which plates go first. We didn't even have enough plates. So, in terms of, for photos, they were quite repetitive. Yeah. So that's what I do.
Nice. Oh, and then when you do your flat lays, are you climbing on top of the sort of the cabinet to take the pictures? Your tripod? How are you doing it?
So I have a tripod.
Just got a vision of you standing over the top of it.
There's a few stories about that.
There are a few stories, actually. So if it's in-house, not outside, right? And up to very recent, I didn't have the big, I keep forgetting its name.
Tripod or
no, it's not a tripod. It's a C-stand.
Okay.
I have a big, massive, heavy-duty C-stand now.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
So before, and I still have the same, I have Manfrotto tripod with the 90-degree arm on it.
Right.
We'll put that. However, it's not too high. So, and I have a crop factor camera, which means that 50 millimeters will convert into 80 something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That means it needs to be fairly high. So a lot of my flat lays are actually on the floor. Here's the trick. We have 3 dogs.
Wow.
There's a bit of stress and anxiety always with this setup because a dog can run in, try to grab the food, will knock out the tripod. So there is always those kind of terrible images in my head. The other thing that I do in lack of C-stand is the open fire cooking. We have a kiddie stool. I don't know, from IKEA, if you know this, stool. Like a step stool for kids to.
Yeah.
Yes, food hoovers. Get on the step stool, the red one, and try to lean over the fire, which is quite hot. And Jurgen would be holding me around my waist. So with all his power, he will be holding me because I'm barely relying on my legs to try to be as flat as possible, and to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Not the easiest, quite dangerous for the camera. I don't care about myself.
Yeah.
but that's what I try to do. But it works.
Awesome. For the people that are listening to this in podcast form, I will put up the images on the social medias. They'll be on the Facebook as well, so that you can go and look and see what we've just been discussing, as otherwise you're going to be completely lost as to what we've just discussed. Whilst we're on the photography,
maybe could have thought that through a little bit.
Yeah, I probably should have thought about that and put that right at the beginning, because people are going to be, I'm not really sure what they're talking about.
Yeah, what's just happened for the last 20 minutes?
Maybe that's an edit point. Maybe we'll edit that bit and move it to the beginning. Right?
Yeah, why not?
Oh, fuck. Cheers, mate. That's just fuck. Yeah, thanks for the really easy edit point. Thank you for that.
That's no worries. No problems at all.
I know what I'm doing all day Sunday.
You'll love it. So, whilst we're on the photography side of things, what got you? You said you were maternity. Is that right?
Yeah, correct.
And it was out of boredom. Is that something that you've played with before, or just because you've seen others? Obviously, with the second child, you wanted to take more pictures. Something you've always wanted to do, or just it sort of fit?
When I was a kid, I had, those Kodak cameras. That
Those
I
ones.
Yeah, the ones that you take then to the shop and
Oh, not
they
even the instant ones that you pull and then you
no, I didn't have the
spend
instant
hours
one.
flapping it around.
No, I didn't have the instant one. I had the ones that you actually take the film to the Photoshop, the program, but the place,
Yeah.
and they expose it for you, whatever that's called.
Yep.
So I love taking pictures, and I used to take pictures of the randomest of things, on the walk of botanic gardens, this flower and that flower, nothing special. But I think I remember my grandfather said once, "Oh, she has an eye for photography," and never really paid attention to ever. Up until the moment when I went to maternity and I stayed at home, and I realized that babies at the beginning of their lives, they sleep most of the time. So I had a big gap in between first and the second kid, so I kind of forgot how. So and I wanted to take better pictures of kids, and then his brother, who's quite techie, and I'm quite techie, so we talked a little bit about how cool the mirrorless camera is, and then it's kind of one thing led to the other, but I wasn't really specifically targeting photography per se. Like I wasn't even building a career in that. I wasn't even thinking that I would ever have clients in photography. But I started doing photography for Jurgen's account, our account at a time, which had a totally different name. Kazoku, can you remember? We were forever how to name it, but anyway, it's a different story. Maybe for later. But anyway, so I started taking pictures, and it was getting me quite excited and interested in the topic. And I finished that Udemy course, and I started taking on courses, but more specialized ones. So I have a couple of courses signed up with different food photographers. There is an English food photographer, Lauren, and one Russian food photographer that's amazing, Dasha. And I'm constantly learning from them from different angles, food photography, whether it's commercial, whether it's styling, whether it's, how to edit. So there is so many elements and so many things to learn at all times. And I think during COVID, it even ramped up. Because at home, there is only so much you can watch on Netflix. There is only so many books that you can read. There is only so many places that you can go within 5 kilometers radius that we've been confined to for so long.
Yeah.
That, something had to happen. One, I took up a course in college. I went back to education. And two, I just continued on my food photography. Now I'm quite confident that my pictures are good. Some people like it, so it's obviously it's an objective thing. Subjective. So people. Yeah, I'm always mix those two. So some people won't like it, and that's fine. But at least I'm getting to the point where I'm satisfied with my work. I'm getting to the point where I'm happy to put it out there and offer it as a service.
Yeah.
And having those couple of clients has been great as well. Boost for confidence, work. Latest customer actually gave me bottles and the package. So he wanted me to take a picture of his kind of a hamper box thing, whatever, put it on the account on his website. So as I was taking pictures, and because I don't have that much experience in the commercial photography in it, so there is a lot of things that I still have to learn, and I'm learning. But I started taking pictures, and it looked very nice. But I caught myself, and we gave the box back. When I looked in Lightroom, I realized how much dust is there on the frickin' bottles.
Yeah.
And I am not 100%. Was the word proficient in Photoshop, so I couldn't just go and do the magic thing in Photoshop and do it. I had to do it in Lightroom. I had to go and do it in Lightroom, by just removing the highlights and stuff like that. Luckily, the dark, so I was able to do that. But this kind of small things that I still have to learn is that wipe certain things, make sure that there's no dust, and triple check, double check, and etc. It's and I love it. And I'm staying here for good in the space of food photography for sure.
Good.
Yeah, you
And so
definitely
you
should.
should. Yeah, absolutely.
I think so too.
You say,
Thank you. Thank you.
You say, oh yeah, I'm getting to the point where I'm happy with my photography. I would have been happy from the day go with if that was what I could produce out of straight away. So it's really really good stuff, and
Thank you.
I can see in the future, big.
I'm hoping that
big
this
things.
guy
Yeah.
one day will publish his cookbook with my pictures in it.
Nice.
Of course,
That's
a good,
that's
really
a dream there,
nice
isn't it?
idea.
That is yeah, really good. So you say you're learning. Give us some quick and easy tips for people that want to improve their food photography. Things that you've picked up and you think that have changed the way that you've taken pictures.
Yeah. One thing is, I think the easiest way is rule of thirds. It's quite simple, all known rule of thirds. Don't position your subject right in the middle of the frame. Just don't. Just shift it slightly to the right hand side, just ever so slightly, and that will get you somewhere. Light is another thing, is very important. If you have a white, actually I use, believe it or not, those cake boxes, white ones that you can buy in a store or something. So I use a cake box as a reflector. So you don't need to buy expensive gear, reflectors and stuff like that to lighten up a little bit the shadow area. So I have this white thing, I put it on the opposite side of the light, so the other side of the subject is a little bit lit, so it's not too dark. And your phone is fine. Don't go and chase the most expensive camera ever. Don't. It's not the camera that makes the pictures nice. It's the person who makes the pictures nice. There is a lot of mobile photography courses out there, including Udemy. I think Dasha the Russian food photographer, is going to roll out some English courses, and she has an amazing, actually, mobile food photography. So it's literally goes and tells you use your phone. So learn the abilities of your phone in terms of exposure. Can you increase it? Can you decrease it? And play with that. You don't need an expensive camera. Don't spend money on super expensive stuff. Expensive camera is needed for people that need to print stuff for cookbooks and stuff for sharpness and details. That's not so important if you're taking pictures for Instagram. Oversaturate. Don't oversaturate ever. Just forget that saturation button. You don't need to make it look like it's toxic color. It's not needed. Natural color is the best. So yeah.
I'm going to get some hate for this, but I am not. There's quite a few people that use the like a HDR effect. So rather than actually creating a HDR image, they're laying over a filter, and like you say, it's just massively oversaturated, and it just, personally, it just looks a little bit too aggressive on the eye, and it just looks wrong. I'd much prefer something with like a decent light in it that gives that natural depth to what you're taking the picture. Light, like you said, light is key, and if you get your light right and the shadows, that image is almost three-dimensional, and it just pops. Filters, I hate using filters. No, even, I mean, for my Instagram, I use either the iPhone or I've got a S20 Samsung, and to be honest, the S20, the camera on that absolutely blows the iPhone out of the water. So I tend to use that for my food photography. And it just, like you said, use what you've got. I mean, I've just rolled back because it's in the corner. Yeah. but it very rarely gets used anymore. After having kids, I don't have the time to run out and spend 3 or 4 hours doing crazy shit outside of cathedrals anymore. I just don't have the time. But the basics of it is it stays the same. The rules are third. You know, telling the story through the picture, leading the viewer through your photo in a story is something that keeps, you know, is always there. But yeah, no, it's use what you've got. Definitely, is definitely a good one. Any other tips that you'd use?
Don't do it with your husband or your wife.
Simplicity, I suppose. One thing, like, do you know when I started? Actually, I was scrolling Pinterest for ideas, and I still sometimes do. It's called mood board, right? So just before you start a shoot, if you really want to get a good picture and you want to invest time in preparation, what you could do is you can go to Pinterest and just type the food that you're cooking and the mood that you want. So I don't know, for example, spaghetti bolognese dark photography, and you're gonna get spaghetti bolognese in a dark key, and
Absolutely.
that will give you a sense of what you want. You don't have to exactly repeat what you see, but at least the position of the main subjects will be given to you through that. So you don't have to, wreck your head with what's it called? Composition, because that's that's not my forte. Composition at all is not my strong suit. I really struggle sometimes with where to put, what to put. It comes with time. It comes with experience. It gets easier and easier with every month. But at the very, very beginning, I didn't know where to put, the fork. Everything looked unnatural because I was setting it up. So for me, clearly it was unnatural. So Pinterest was my go-to place to find compositions that would look more or less natural. And this is how I'm getting to the point where now I'm looking at something and thinking, okay, this is where I'm going to put stuff. So I'm less and less reliant on Pinterest ideas, more and more great on composition. What I see throughout as well, Instagram and a lot of barbecue accounts, is that a lot of people are just go very close to the food. The food is taking up the whole frame and there is nothing else around. You need a negative space. That's that I wanted to mention. Almost forgot. Negative space is not a bad thing. It's actually a very good thing, and it will give a bit of a rest for the eyes for the person who's watching your food, and will lead to the food itself. But if you have the full frame, just food, it will lose its beauty. It will be too heavy, should I say?
Absolutely.
Good tip.
Awesome.
Very good tip.
Okay.
You could be a teacher.
That's good. Right. Favorite dishes to cook or to eat for both of you?
No, for me, my favorite dish is maminha, which is the Brazilian cut of rom-tail. Skewer over the fire, about 45 minutes, crispy fat, rare on the inside, and dipped in tapioca flour. Manioc, what's it called? Cassava flour. A bit of salt. That's my favorite dish you can feed me. It's very simple. It's a big meaty thing. But if you give me that and a beer or a wine, I'm happy out already.
Any sides with it, or just on its own?
Well, I could have a side. That's just on its own is already perfect for me. But with sides as well, I love pumpkin from the ashes. So it's called rascoldo. It's slowly cooked in ashes and very small embers. So you cook it for like 6, 7 to 8 hours until it's really. The same with banana squash. They can also do potatoes just straight into the coals itself. It was a bit faster, of course. Amazing side dish we'll eat a lot. With purple potatoes, we use a lot, or we call violet potatoes. Orange sweet potatoes, white sweet potatoes.
Yep.
Every potato we can find. And then I'm a big fan of Indonesian foods. Big fan of Mexican foods. But yeah, like a real My favorite dish would be mamina, but for the rest, yeah, every day is a different day for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Chicken nuggets. No. I'm kidding.
It's a 20 box Mackie D's. Boom.
So much time spent on the podcast about food, and yeah, no, I'm kidding. I'm joking. Honestly, I don't know what's my favorite food because I just love. I love everything that Jurgen cooks, and I put a few extra kilograms since I met him. Never dropped that.
I was going to say you're going to go for brownie points and say anything that Jurgen cooks, and you did it before I even said it. But that's good. I mean, to be fair, from what you've already told us about what you cook, it sounds, like you really do sort of come up with all manners of different ideas and foods, and you're not limited to just certain, a small sort of selection. You a very broad knowledge of food.
Yeah, and we experiment a lot as well. So I think at least once every 2 weeks we do something totally different.
He says we, but it's always him. Like I don't cook.
I would go
I forgot how to do it.
I would go to even when I go fishing and I bring some fish home we never cooked before. I'll try something new with it. And like I always say, like if the worst case scenario, we order a pizza.
Yeah.
Just experiment. That's what I always say to people: experiment, because you can. The best foods come from mistakes, I think.
Absolutely.
I think you're right.
I totally agree with that one.
Yeah.
Well, unless you make cookie dough and do it wrong, and then it really was a mistake, and it was as black as the bottom of the skillet I cooked it. Sometimes not the best. But yeah, definitely just experimenting in general, with a cut of meat. I'm going to go for something completely different. Very good.
Okay, so we've got a question just coming from the chat from Neil. Ever completely ruined a cook by accident?
Multiple, like a few.
What was the reason? So we couldn't eat even.
I can, like, one of them would be the duck I did. I did a spatchcock duck on open fire, open flames. And I walked inside and I came outside. There's a fire outside. We're talking about 2-3 minutes. I went inside to pick something, like a beer, I think, or something. And there was a massive fire, so the whole duck was back on the bottom.
What was it? Just the
duck fat,
from
just
the duck.
Yeah, exactly. And I went onto the new wood I put on, and just that was it.
Incinerated it.
Yeah. Then when I first got to Kamado, I was very cocky, because for me, like, I was always open fire cooking, so Kamado was like for me like an easy bake oven. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Wrong. So I put beef ribs in. I put the fire on. I looked on YouTube how to do it, and I walked away and came back, and we had like your cookie dough, I would say, crispy on the bottom and dry on the top.
Oh dear. I touch wood, I'm still yet to have ruined anything on the Traeger. But
you're
no
going to
doubt
be
I
hard.
will.
If you ruin something on that Traeger, Matt, there's something badly wrong.
Yeah,
you literally put it in.
It'll be me
tell
being lazy
it
and
what
not
meat
cleaning
it
out.
is, and then that's the only thing you're going to have is potentially a fire.
Yeah, that's it. I'm going to burn the lot down. That's it. Not cleaning out the fire pot.
Grease trap, yeah.
I've got a dedicated vacuum now for my Traeger. So every 2 or 3 cooks, it comes out and hoovers the whole lot out.
I'm trying my best not to look disgusted, Matt, but I'm struggling, to be fair. I've got a dedicated Hoover for my pellet grill. Jesus Christ! Well, what's going on with the world? Come on!
It even says it in the manual. Hoover it out. I was like, right, okay, that's an excuse to get a Hoover. Yeah.
I'll be honest, I had a Hoover as well. I bought it about 6 months
Yes, I'm not the only person that got a Hoover for that Traeger.
But I bought it because of I bought it for the Kamados, because it was so easy to clean them out.
Yeah.
But then on the fire cage, I literally just scoop it out and put into a bucket. So
It's
easy.
just, yeah, it's all about
So
making life easier, isn't it? Not going to get in, trying to get into like a big domed sort of, you know, Traeger or Kamado, trying to scoop that out, it's nigh on impossible.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Hoover all the way. Yes, Neil's put in there. He still reckons the breakfast was an April Fool's joke. No, it certainly wasn't. I went out. That was like one of the first days I got the Traeger delivered, and I sent him a picture, and his words were pretty much fuck off. I was like, sorry, what? It's like I'm not falling for it, and I looked. I was like, oh, it's April the 1st, before 12 o'clock, and he was just like, nah, not falling for it. How did you cook your toast? I was just like, well, yeah, all right, you've caught me. I used the toaster for the toast. But the rest of it I cooked on the Traeger. He wasn't having none of it, and then I rang him and showed him. Yeah.
So we got a couple of questions the same question in fact coming from the chat. Do you have a go-to wood type for cooking on? I presume using your open fire. Or?
If I have the choice, I go between olive wood and some South African wood, Camille Doring or Sekelbos. Those two.
That's quite exotic. It's South African real hardwoods. Then they must give off a lot of flavour when you're.
They're very easy. They're very easy to get in the UK and Ireland as well, and they all come from sustainable sources. Because Camille Doring, it's only fallen branches they use. Sekelbos is an invasive piece. It does make the long trip over, but when you cook on this kind of woods, it's something totally different. You can cook. Wow. This. Those are my favorite woods, and. Then I use the birch charcoal from Globaltic.
Obviously. Friends of the show.
Friends of the show.
Sponsors and affiliates. They make very good charcoal. For a discount, head over to the Barbecue Talk Show website. 10% off. Check out the code.
Exactly.
So I chuck that in there.
So that's something I use as well. So I use their charcoal and their what's it called? I can get the name now. The Japanese stuff. The Binchutan. That's not the briquettes, but the Binchutan wood. So the actual Binchutan. That's what I use as well.
That's serious charcoal. That's serious stuff. That
it is, and it's not easy
good as well.
Start it. It's not easy to maintain. You need to use a fan, like a hand fan, to keep it going. Especially cook on it when it's going, and when you cook on it, it's amazing. It's something different, very special.
It keeps the heat for longer, doesn't it?
Yeah, it keeps the heat for hours.
We use it in chimney here in the living room during winter.
One day. Very expensive day, but look, we had no.
Absolutely. How do you find their lump stacks up against others?
The lump Binchutan or the birch?
No, just the birch.
I think it's very clean burning. The birch as well. It doesn't have the sparkling effect that sets the whole house on fire. It's a very mild flavor comes off it from the wood, so you can really cook delicate dishes on it.
Yeah.
For me, it's charcoal, and plus because it's so sustainable.
Absolutely, I agree. It's top notch. You know, I've used all manners of stuff now, and I don't think I'll be switching back to anything else. It's just, I mean, the heat it produces as well is surprising.
Yeah.
Like people, you know, you sit there and people will say, "Oh, you know, how can it make any difference?"
It does.
Oh yeah, it does. It totally does make a big difference.
And it lasts as well, which is, you know, for something that's burning that hot, you'd think, that's it, it's going to just go, but it doesn't. You know, I had over last weekend, I did a huge amount. I had it open on the Weber kettle, and I just had the lid open. And I closed it all down, and I've still got half of what I put in the chimney star left in there. It's nuts. Really good stuff.
Yeah. What we do as well is, like, when I finish cooking in the open cage, in the fire cage, I scoop the coals and I put them into the Kamado.
Yeah.
Next day I can cook with it again. 2 times even.
Perfect.
Job done.
Yeah, it all depends, of course, how long I'm cooking. If it's a very long cook, then I'm there for hours, and of course, there's not going to be much left. But I think for the cooks, I usually start on charcoal, and then I put the wood on top for to catch, the fire and everything. Then I keep putting wood on.
That's a very good statement, Rob. Charcoal lump wood needs to be seen as seasoning. You need good stuff, not cheap shit from down the supermarket or petrol station that's covered in gasoline and parts of your nan's old picture frames.
Exactly, and I think this is one of the tips I always give as well to people who want to get into open fire cooking. Don't buy the most expensive grill you can find. Buy a Weber, buy even an Amazon basic camping grill, and do it on the floor. But buy good wood, good charcoal, and good meat and good veggies. You're good to go.
Absolutely.
Save your money.
Yeah.
I'll say this is a bad thing for me to say because everybody should buy Savage barbecue cages, but look.
Nice.
Obviously. It's,
Just
definitely.
seasoned a new grill plate with Glow Baltic and my knuckles were burning. I've already told you, Neil, I cheat death on a regular basis when I'm cooking. He was saying that he burnt all of his arm with his Vortex. Well, I play a game with see how many chicken wings I can flip before it starts burning over the Vortex. Needless to say, there's not very many chicken wings I can flip with Glow Baltic in the Vortex.
Wow.
Yes.
I think I've said it before and I'll say it again. I just think you like to be burnt. There's something kinky bugger. I don't know what it is. It's
Nice.
you and burns and stuff. I don't know. You do it on a weekly basis. I've never ever known anyone to burn themselves as much as you do.
Just gotta make sure I'm still alive, Right, now I guess is the time that Ryan wants to do the questions because I can't.
Okay.
I don't have any.
Okay, so
Those ones.
Those ones. Okay, so what we normally do is towards the end of the podcast, which we are getting close to because we've been running a while now. We've got a set of fairly standard questions. So the first one I'm going to kick off with is to both of you. You can either answer collectively or individually. It's totally your choice. Tell us what are your favorite music or your favorite albums.
It's very different for us.
Yeah. Okay then. So let's have ladies first. Come on. Let's.
Oh, good. I don't know. What's my favorite music? I don't know. I need to open my Spotify to check for the top of my head. But I don't know. Off the top of my head, I listen a lot to Sia. Sia, is that how you pronounce her name? I don't know. Pop music, I suppose. Spanish pop music as well. I don't know. I'm not big into music. I actually listen to what he listens. I'm not fussy.
Okay.
Yeah, for me it can be anything from hardcore, old school hip hop, to rock, to country music. Not a country music, but like I want like hillbilly music more.
Nice.
I listen to a lot of South American music as well, Brazilian, Argentinian, Spanish,
Mexican.
Yeah. Depending on the mood or what food I'm gonna make as well, because my mood is always depending on the music and the food. So it's either if I'm gonna make Mexican food, I'm gonna listen to Mexican music. I'm listening to Argentinian music, I can make Argentinian food. So it depends.
Nice.
It goes. Our music just goes everywhere. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
you guys put onto what was it? Your ring walk song that I asked for the adverts for Instagram. That was incredible. I spent most of the day listening to different sort of bits of their music. Really good.
Yeah, the Hot 8 brass band. They're
That's
amazing.
the one.
They were amazing.
Really good.
Very good. Yeah, we love them.
Absolutely.
Okay, so you got a fairly eclectic sort of music mix then. So, what would you say is your who would you say would be your one? Okay, this is quite niche barbecue. Who would you say has inspired you to cook barbecue, or sort of like get going on the whole barbecue scene and set you off on your journey?
So it would be for unknown people would be my head chef in the Gaucho restaurant, Mikey, and he inspired me a lot because he asked us to do a lot of experimenting with foods, and he was teaching us a lot. And he wants once a week we had to do an experiment with food to try something new. So he really inspired me, and he was really inspired by Francis Malman and the guys from South America.
Mm-hmm.
So Francis Malman is a big influence in my life as well for cooking. And recently it's been Niklas Ekstad, the Nordic fire cook, who's really inspired me.
Yeah. We need to talk to that guy.
Yes.
If we can.
Do. Invite me as well, please.
I sort of had my eyes opened by the previous show we done. There's some fantastic stuff going on over there, and very eager to talk to more Norwegian cooks or people of that area about what they're up to and how they go about things, because I find it completely fascinating. It's a different way of doing things, and it's quite cool in my opinion.
And everything cooked over birch as well. Everything is cooked over birch, which is amazing, I think.
So, what was it? I was just about to say, there's I was going to go into the quick fire round, but I can't. I'm trying to call it up on my phone in a minute, so we can't do that. There is another question that I'm just about to ask. So, as a partnership with your Instagram accounts, there must be some kind of negotiation with toys versus cameras. Who generally wins? So I should imagine you must be thinking, I want to get this camera, or I want to get this grill, or blah blah blah. How does that work?
It's not about winning. I always have to force her to buy something new, almost.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm not good enough. I don't have many customers. This and that, and I tell her, just buy it. Just do it. Buy it. I have to push her to buy something new. But she really it's not like something like, oh, she doesn't really need it. No, she needs it, and she's like, no, I'm here with my handkerchief. It will work too. no,
love it.
Or get a stand so I don't have to hold the lighting anymore for you, so you can do it your own thing.
Yeah.
I'm very how would I say it? I need to be held back sometimes because I can go left, right, and center and find something in South Africa that I really want to have. So I'm going to buy it.
Yeah,
I'm a nightmare for doing stuff like that. You'll see something and you'll go, oh, I really want that. But why do I want like a cast iron toasty machine?
Yeah, at the moment I'm looking at something from South Africa. This is like, it's called a vuurvarkie, which is literally called a fire pig. It's like a little cast iron box with slots on the sides. You put there and you put a bread in the middle so you can bake a bread. I don't need looking at it. So birthday hint.
I was going to say, finally I have some birthday hint.
I was going to say, just because I'm a nightmare. I just click buy and then think about it afterwards. It's like, I get myself into trouble too much.
You can see our shed is full of gadgets for the barbecue. Like even recently, somebody I got to know through Instagram. He's Croatian, and he got me a pekabel from Bosnia, hand forged.
No way.
And it's amazing. Cool. Often I'm going to use it, not very often, but I want to have it. I need it.
just because you can.
Yeah, absolutely. It's there. It's probably the only one in Ireland as well. There's probably going to be no in Ireland. No one.
So, absolutely.
Do something special for like a class or even or a private dining thing.
Yeah. No, definitely.
That'd be quite a spectacle, actually. Private dining. So, have you ever eaten any sort of exotic meats and things like that? What is the most unusual thing that has passed your lips and you've consumed that's been really sort of out there? We had a spectacular one the last show.
Last week, didn't we?
yeah, that was like that really blew my mind. But have you ever eaten anything within that sort of range?
A lot of things. One of the worst things I've eaten was a camel hump. That's the one of the worst.
Really?
A camel hump.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was like a little stick, like a skewer.
Mm.
You know, like how Wagyu is fatty and very tasty, but filling.
Mhm.
So camel hump is like very disgusting and filling,
Oh, okay.
Disgusting and
it's like biting into old sunflower oil. It's just disgusting.
oh, nice.
Gross.
Yeah,
They're
that
really
doesn't
selling
sound,
it.
that doesn't
What else?
sound great.
Yeah, what else? I've eaten iguana. I've eaten eyeballs. You name it.
Wow.
One thing I never eat is testicles. Like
I like them actually.
I could, living in Syria back in the days, you go next to the butcher shop and you see like a row of, sheep testicles, lamb testicles, whatever testicles just hanging there, for people to buy.
Just chilling.
Because in Syria, the culture to eat meat is you eat everything of the animal too.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's a good thing in my opinion. Why would you waste anything?
Yeah, exactly. But that's something I could never eat. It was too much for me, I think.
Yeah.
My dad used to love to eat like good sized ball.
He was enjoying it.
Yeah.
Not me, I couldn't.
No, we eat a lot of no.
I'm done.
No more beer for you. No. So nose to tail food here. So we try to get whole animals in. I want our kids to see where the meat comes from. It doesn't come from a package. It comes from an animal that we have to cut into meat sizes. So that's what we do. So we do venison and lamb, and hopefully over the summer now, when we're gonna have visitors over again, we do a whole pork.
That's pretty cool.
My son.
So are you quite sort of like versed in butchery and things like that then, are you?
No, really. Like I know some butchery because of I worked in restaurants and everything, but I get a lot of stuff from. I just look at YouTube on the video to see how to do it. I book as well. I go to sometimes.
Mm.
I'm not a butcher, but I know how to swing an axe. That kind of thing.
Well, that's the thing. But if you look at the animal itself and you cut it apart, there's seams everywhere. You literally just follow the seams.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that difficult. And that's like, if you screw it up, you have amazing minced meat.
Wow.
No, nine times out of
suppose.
10, no one's going to know anyway. It's just going to be cooked up and grilled, and it's going to be nice. So
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we eat a lot of minced meat as well anyway, because we make a lot of kebabs and for the kids, like small burgers and everything. Like the other day, we had a venison from the last one of the season, and my 8-year-old son, he helped me cut it. And he's like, "Oh, what if I do it wrong? Doesn't matter. You can eat hamburgers anyway. It's fine. Just I'll show you where to go."
that's
And
cool.
Nice.
He took on one amazing leg steak. It was like professionally done almost. But then the next cut was like, Hannibal Lecter was visiting, or
Hannibal Lecter did a good job.
Hannibal Lecter did up somebody else, Jack the Ripper or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Completely lost. I'm still recovering from the ball
The
jokes.
balls. That's going nuts.
Yeah,
I like that. Matt's gone nuts. I'll go in that.
nice.
Yeah, we're here all week. So let's round it off now and move ourselves into the quick fire cues round. The list is getting longer, and I'm going to warn you. No, actually, I'm not. Just to think about it a little bit. From the last show, we were asking our guests to contribute to the show, as it were. So to think of a question, and we'll add it in every week, so our list gets longer. So we're going to start this off, and
what
then
we're going to do is we're just going to do a podcast of just quick fire questions in the year's time, because we're going to have so many of them.
well, we can do the best of the quick fire cues. You see, that could be like a Christmas show.
Nice.
So we ready to get rocking? Who's going to start?
I haven't got them in front of me, Ryan, so you're going to have to do them all.
Okay, all right, I'll do them all. That's fine. So the first one you can answer individually, or in fact, take it in
At the same
turns.
time.
Take it in turns. Okay.
Yeah. So who's going to go first?
Ladies first. Go on, you go first.
Ladies first. So all right, this is going to be hot and fast or low and slow? Cooking.
Low and-
Yeah. Low and slow. Cool. Day or night?
Night.
Beer or spirits?
Beer.
Lump or briquette?
Briquette.
Sin.
Divorce.
There's no right or wrong answer. Pork or beef?
Beef.
Beef. So ribs, wet or dry? That's quite a Pacific barbecue question.
Wet.
Well, nice. Butcher paper or foil?
Butcher paper.
Nice. Wrap or let it ride?
I'm not sure. The latter. Play it right.
Fair enough. Burgers or hot dogs?
Burgers.
And we had one question from Olaf. Yay or nay?
Yay.
There we go. So, Jurgen, you ready? We're coming
ready.
back around.
Go on.
You've got an advantage because you've had more time to think about these highly poignant questions. So, hot and fast or low and slow?
Low and slow.
Day or night?
Day.
Beer or spirits?
Beer.
Lump or briquette?
Lump.
Pork or beef?
Beef.
Ribs, wet or dry?
Dry.
Butcher paper or foil?
Butcher paper.
Wrap or let it ride?
Let it ride.
Burgers or hot dogs?
Burgers.
And yay or nay?
Always yay.
Always, yeah.
Well, this is
So there's
now
not, there's not much difference between you two. You
No, not really.
very much like the same things.
Yeah, I think
Apart from
we're
briquettes.
for the briquettes because she doesn't know.
I don't.
That's a deal breaker. I'm done.
And I lost. I burned.
Excellent. Right. Now is your time to plug both of your social medias if you would
one
like
second.
to.
They've got to ask a question. They've got to ask the question.
Oh, we have to ask a question.
think
You
about
can,
it.
you can pick. You can pick.
All right.
And Neil has a question to add.
I think I know.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brazilian?
Neil's question. Go
What
on.
was the question?
Barker brace.
Bark or brace? Bark.
Bark, definitely.
All right. So my one. Bone side first or fat side first?
Ooh, that's a good one. I am fat side up.
I would say, yeah. For me, fat side down because I'll cook in a drum, so it just protects it, and the fat don't really do anything anyway, does it? It just sort of, it doesn't penetrate.
know.
It just runs off.
Okay. For me, it's I always cook the bones first because we cook. You always cook the bones, everything first until it heats up. And the last minute you blast on the fat so it gets crispy. So
I think it depends on what cooker you use, to be honest. You
depends on
know.
my cooking. Like if you're talking about, Kamado low and slow, then yeah, maybe it could be different. But for me, it's open fire cooking. You open
Yeah.
first. That's just, it's a rule of thumb, and it works better
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, I get that. So yeah,
I experimented to do it fat first, and then you get too much fire, too much flames, and it just screws everything up. You need to constantly move it, and so better in the end when the fire is dying down a bit as well.
okay. Well, you'll be going into the quick fire
Definitely
cues
going in the
questions.
list. Like
Okay.
that.
Yeah.
good
So
Right. How about we now do? They can plug their social. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So guys, if you want to plug your social medias and direct the people there,
All right.
whoever
So
wants to go first.
yeah, for myself, it's Culinary Demons. You can find me on Instagram and on Facebook. I don't have a website yet, but I think it's going to be coming in the near future. And of course, plug as well Savage Barbecue for your fire cage necessities.
Definitely.
For me, it's serious.photo. It's a bit strange spelling, so SIY. I have to restart. SYRIUSS.photo on Instagram. Same on Facebook. I'm not overly active there because this guy takes most of my time, and I don't have 7 hours a day. But yeah, I'm there.
okay. Well, we'll
If
post
I
all the
may,
links.
if I think for your photography, have you got TikTok yet?
No, not yet. I mean, I
Okay.
have a can, but I never use it. Too old. I don't know. I'm too old for this shit.
If you, I think if you had, just like a camera doing sort of a time lapse of you, moving all your dishes around and then taking the picture and then showing the end image, I think that'd do really, really well. Just showing, like, as in just demonstrating how you get to your finished products on that. I think that'd do really well.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna take your advice, and yeah, Jurgen loves this kind of thing, so he's gonna film me. Get some use of him.
Wow.
Nice. Sorry, my bad.
Thanks, Matt.
That's all right. You've got to pay it
We
forward.
like your videos anyway.
Yeah, I started doing reels a bit lately. But
Yeah, because I don't have time to do photos for you.
Nice.
Fantastic. Yeah, thank you for I almost forgot. You got to display that wonderful hat.
Yeah, you
What?
have to display your hat.
Oh, the hats, of course. We also got
Your hat.
the hat.
Look at that. It's a fine hat. It is a fine hat. I'm sorry, it is. It's a nice looking hat, and yeah. I like that. I need to get one of them in my life.
I think I was
Yeah.
going to say Ryan is somewhat envious of your hat.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
She wears my hat as well. Sometimes I'm looking for a hat and look I'm down. She's in there with the hat on.
There's my hat.
He suddenly turned into like a 90s raver with that hat on. It's like curly hair.
I know. And since I cut my hair, all his hats suit me. Well, actually, he did the haircut. My hair was quite long up until my
Oh,
shoulder,
wow.
but I got tired of it and
I didn't do it with fire. It was with scissors.
scissors. Yeah.
Car on a
So-
rotisserie, just slowly
so-
burning bits off.
Not only do you run a
Sounds like-
fantastic looking Instagram account, all your food looks great. You can cut a pretty cool haircut as well.
Yeah, Jurgen can do that. Yeah, cook and cut hair. So,
Yeah, multi.
over guys,
he's
you're
got it all
welcome
going on.
for a bit of a hairdressing job and a bit of a
I can
cooking.
open like
see?
a
That's
barber
a niche right there,
beer
isn't
and
it?
barber beer and barber.
That's it.
Yeah, you
There you
could.
go.
You wait for the meat, you get a haircut. When you're done for the haircut, your meat is ready.
Come out finely trimmed and full.
Like that.
Exactly. I'm drunk.
Yeah, and drunk. Right, so
Oh,
On
dear.
that
You're gonna set me
bombshell,
off
I think-
again.
what we're going to do, we're going to wrap the podcast up. We're going to run the pub club, see if anyone wants to jump in. Thank you so much for coming on the show. You've been fantastic. It's been brilliant looking at your content. Everybody check out all of the social medias mentioned. There'll be in the link for the podcast. Also, there'll be in the show notes for the YouTube channel and wherever else we're going to be sending them. I'm pretty sure they'll be all over the place fairly soon.
Absolutely.
It might take a little bit longer because of the edit point that Matt put in for me. So thanks for that, buddy.
No worries.
I can't wait for that. So yeah, thanks for coming on the show, and you're more than welcome back anytime you wish to talk about anything or promote anything, especially as you're sort of like venturing out with your new business for live fire cooking and traveling around places. Hopefully, as things open up for COVID, please.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool to have you back.
It'd be lovely to have you back on and in sort of 6 months, a year, and see how it's progressed for you.
Or we've grown or got destroyed.
Yeah.
One of those.
In a year's time from a tent.
It's going to be all grey, probably in a year.
Nice.
No, thank you guys for having us.
Yeah.
In August, actually, we will be on the Fire and Smoke barbecue festival. We'll be there.
Which one are you going to?
It's the one Colchester.
Malden? Colchester one. Okay.
Colchester one, yeah. So we'll be there in the barbecue alley. So we'll be doing demonstrations with the fire cages there.
Awesome.
So it's gonna be a nice one. It's gonna be 3 days of fun and meeting a lot of people. So I'm hoping a lot of people will be there.
I'm very tempted, as it's very close to my birthday. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Someone takes me to.
Was that some sort of hint, Matt?
It might have been, yeah, to either the Malden one or Colchester. The one that's closest to me is Western Supermare, which unfortunately has been cancelled.
Yeah,
which is the southwest one, which is a real shame. So hopefully next year they get to do all 4 of their planned events. That'd be it'd be nice to go to all of them. But
then next year's going to be
the world's pantry has just ruined my dream. Yeah, the one in Malden's cancelled as well.
You have to come
So
to Colchester. You have to come to us. That's it.
it's sold in Colchester. So
I'll make sure I have
I'm
pizza
going to
mamia for you. We're gonna do maminias on the fire, so I'll have a piece for you there, so you can have my favorite meal.
There you go.
Awesome. Right. After this, I'll be looking to book tickets. Awesome stuff.
Very cool.
Right. To the pub club. Guys, if you wish to jump off, you can. If you want to stay around and see if anyone wants to jump in and ask questions.
No, we can stay around. Yeah, we'll stay around for any questions people have.
We run about a 2-minute ad break or a little break now. So if you want to get yourself another drink, whatever.
Be right here.
We shall see you in a couple of minutes.
Perfect.
See you later.
Bye. Thanks for coming on.